Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kelly Levine, the Closet Coach. I teach professional organizers and designers how to design custom closets the way professionals do it so they can help their clients to the highest level. A lot of homeowners really love these videos as well because a lot of people just want to, do it themselves. So if that's you, I hope this helps. There is a way to hire me directly if you want to have a closet designed virtually for whatever area you need. So what we can talk about that at the end, but today I want to show you guys how to design closets for guys. And I shouldn't necessarily discriminate against guys because this could be for anyone who is tall. So typically men have bigger feet and longer clothes than some women do. But this is for those people who are larger, and I'm a smaller person, so this is really something to take into consideration. If you've ever gone into into a closet and seen somebody's shirts hanging, and especially the ones with the tails hanging over the rod, so they're like all bunched up on the bottom. That's because the rod spacing isn't correct. So I'm going to just take a past client's closet like I did last time. I've got the inventory, I've got the space kind of drawn out, and then we're going to talk about how I designed this closet. Now, this was a single guy. He lived in a townhouse. So this is just his closet. And let's get started. I'll show you what I got here. Let me share my screen. Okay, so here we go. So typical townhouse closet, it's quite narrow, only 61 inches across. And then this one had a little special thing that I thought we could talk about too. It had a cutout corner. So we've got 100 inches here, 115 here, but this is my door opening. Just to backtrack a little bit, if this is your first time here, I recommend going back and watching my first videos where I show you how to take an inventory, measure the closet, and draw the closet. And it's real simple. I'm doing that using a grid paper where each square is 6 inches. Okay, so if that part is confusing, go back and watch some of those first videos. And then also this plan that I've got drawn here is what we call a plan view. So it's as if we're over the closet looking down on it. So like I said before, this is the door. So this is where you would walk in. Okay, and then this was that cutout corner I was talking about before. All right, so let's take a look at what his inventory was. He needs 165 inches of hanging. He didn't hang anything long from the cuff, so we don't need any mid hanging, don't need any long hanging. And he did have some pants over the hanger, and that's going to be key for this design as well. Didn't fold a whole lot of clothes, so he only needed about 4 stacks. Spaces for folded clothes, and then he could use the top as well. And then they were 12 inches wide. Sometimes with men or people that wear a lot of bulky clothes, the width of the stack of folded clothes will be up to 14 inches wide. So be mindful of that when you're looking at your inventory. Then he did wear a lot of suits, so belts, quite a few ties, and then quite a few shoes. 17 pairs. He has a fairly large shoe, 9.5 inches wide and 14 inches deep. So that's about a size like 13, something like that. And then if possible, he wanted drawers. He wanted a space for some dry cleaning and to hang some robes. All right, so that's the inventory that we're working with. If you've watched any of my videos, you know how important the inventory is. It makes the basis for the entire design. All right, so we know we need quite a bit of hanging clothes. I've said before that I like to keep hanging clothes toward the back of the closet if possible, so that you're not walking in here, so that you're not walking in and right away, hitting um, double hanging clothes at your eyesight. Okay, so we are going to do a double hang in the back of this closet. And since this wall is only 15 inches here, I'm just going to use a 12-inch. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to show a 14-inch. If you're using stock components from a box store, you probably just use a standard 12-inch deep here. But since I want to give him a little bit deeper upper shelf, I'm going to show it as 14, because if you're sending this to a custom closet company for a quote, then you're going to want to use deeper material because it's going to be available. If you're using a custom closet company, you'll also be able to go approximately up to about a 42-inch module. If you're buying them off the shelf, you're probably going to be limited to 36 or 24. So you may have to do more than one section back here, but I'm going to show it as one section. Oops. I always forget with this new GoodNotes, I have to pause so that it can straighten out the line. Here, okay, and so let's talk about this corner. This person, this gentleman, had lived in this home for a while, and what the builder had before was a rod, a rod here and a rod here all the way. Okay, so the clothes were hanging out to here and to here. So you can see that in this corner right here, his clothes were getting all globbed up, and he did not want that with this new system. So I had to make a decision about where to cut things. Since this wall is 45 inches and I knew I wanted to stay off of this about 20 inches or so, I just decided to make this a about a 40-inch wide section, so that there was still space. So show that here, what I mean by that. I'm leaving a little bit of space. For all of you people who think that that is a terrible thing, I just want to say, get over it. It's going to make the closet better. And you don't want your clothes all hanging all willy-nilly. You don't get any more in there anyway. This is a great spot to slide in an ironing board or something tall. There's always, something long and skinny, maybe a step stool so that you can get up into the top of the closet. It is not a waste of space sometimes to leave the right amount of space so that things aren't too crowded, okay? And the reality is you can only do a 42-inch wide section anyway. So you don't need to try to think that you're gaining anything by trying to stretch things too far. Okay, so that's our first double hang section. And then so let's draw that out, okay? So we've got, and so this is called the elevation view. It's a 45-inch long wall. Okay, so in this case, it was, forget about those pauses. In this case, it was a 96-inch ceiling. But there was also an attic access up there, so I couldn't go to the ceiling and trim it out without being kind of a pain in the butt. He was okay with leaving it down a little bit, but because he was taller, I wanted to use more than just the typical 84 inches of height. This is where purchasing your stuff from a box store gets tricky if you're tall, because remember, a typical system is only 84 inches tall. it only gives you about 39.5 inches of hanging space. And if you are a taller gentleman and you've got suits and dress shirts that you're wearing, you might need up to a 42-inch space. Now, 3 inches might not seem like a lot, but it can make a big difference. So this person, I think, only needed about 40, 41. So it wasn't too bad. So I decided to make his system 87 inches tall. All right, so that's 87 inches. We've got our panels coming down the side. And I did leave that little space there. And then we've got rod. And then this rod at the bottom, I'm putting the rod up at, actually, I'm going to move that down slightly, move that down to 41 inches, and then have the shelf above it as well. Okay, so we've got our first set of hanging clothes there. And like I said, this ended up to be, once I subtracted for material and everything, this ended up to be 38 inches. Okay, so right now we've got 70, if we're doing our closet math over here, we've got 76 inches of hanging so far of our 165 that we needed. Okay, so we still need quite a bit of hanging, but let's talk about some of the other things that we needed. So I knew he wanted some drawers, and he didn't want a lot of them. I think we had settled on 2 drawers. And potentially a space for dry cleaning. This is not a huge closet, so you know, there had to be a little bit of give and take. But like I said, he did want a space for his shoes, which he had 17 pairs. So here's what I did here. I put his drawers here, and those were going to be 16 inches deep. When you've got drawers against a wall, you've got to come out a little bit. So you're going to have a filler here. You're going to have some kind of a filler right here, so that when you pull the drawer out, you know, because there was a light switch here. So when you pull the drawer out, you're not going to hit the light switch, and you need to get away from the baseboard as well. Okay. And then remember I said his shoes were 9.5 inches wide. So in order to get 3 shoes in, he's going to need a 30-inch wide space. So I decided to make his drawers 30 inches wide. That's going to give him a nice big space on his shelf. It's going to give me room to put some shoes underneath the drawers, and baskets do come in 30 inches wide as well. So I'm going to give him a basket for his dry cleaning underneath the drawers. So let's draw in that 30-inch drawers there. Oops, I think I do that too wide there. And so there's his drawers. And then let's draw the elevation so you guys can see what this is going to look like. So it's 96 inches tall. It's 100 inches wide. So there we go. And then we know we're going 87 inches tall. And on this side, we're going to go, you know, we're going to go all the way to the edge of this wall, since we left the extra space here. All right. So let's draw in those drawers first. So there's our filler piece. Oops. And then we've got our panel. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 30-inch wide drawers. All right. So I want to get at least, I want to get 2 rows of shoes at the bottom. We're going to have a base in this because it's at the bottom. So all of his shoes were dress shoe style. So we really only need about a 5-inch gap, 6-inch gap there. So I just did a couple shelves down here. Okay, and then your typical baskets come in 7.5, 11, and 18. A 30-inch wide basket is pretty big, so we decided to go with an 11-inch basket. That takes 12.5 inches of space. So we've got a basket in here. So there's our basket, and then we're going to have 2 drawers above that. And, you know, when you're deciding drawer spacing for guys or, you know, people that are just going to have a couple drawers, typically they want to get a decent amount of stuff in there. So 8 3/4 inch deep drawers are going to be fairly deep, but you can also, you know, put dividers in them to help keep them organized. So we did go with 2 8 3/4 inch wide drawers. So oops. And so because we put, you know, quite a bit of stuff in this stack, this is getting up, you know, pretty high. This is about 52, 53 inches, something like that. So take your tape measure and measure that out. Make sure it's not too tall for you. But if you are a taller person, it's going to be fine. I usually draw the line at about 54 inches, but I have had people go all the way up to, you know, maybe even 60 inches. So just be mindful of that if you're not tall though. Okay. So and then above that, we can fit a couple shelves. And, you know, still give him some room there to have a landing if he wanted to, or he's got, you know, 6 spaces for clothes if we want to do those equally. Okay. So if we go back to our closet math and take a look at, you know, the inventory, we've got the 2 drawers. Oh, let me move that down. We've got the 2 drawers. We've got, we took care of, we actually have 6 spaces for folded clothes. And we've taken care of the dry cleaning as well. And then we've also got space for 6 shoes so far. Okay, and we're going for 17 pairs of shoes. All right, so we've got now, if we had 100 inches, and I'm just going to do the math the way this needs to be done. We're going to have about 3 1/4 inches. So we've got about 96 inches to work with, and we took 30 inches here. So we've got about 66 inches left to work with. Okay. So I know that he needed more room for shoes, and he also needed some ties, quite a few ties. Now, this is something that you would have to order. Nobody's probably going to know about this, but there is such a thing as an undermount tie and belt rack. And I wish I would have put up some pictures of these. I'll try to show you guys at the end of this video. An undermount tie and belt rack has to be mounted underneath a shelf, and it takes up about 6 inches. So if you do an undermount tie and belt, you need about 12 inches of space. And you also need about 54 inches of height. So I did something a little bit different here. I knew I wanted 20 inches so that I could get 2 pair of shoes. And I knew that I wanted 12 inch. I knew that it took 12 inches to do the belt and tie rack. So I decided to do a 32-inch wide section, but then it's going to have a panel, so it's actually 32 3/4. All right, let's start drawing here. Hopefully this doesn't get too crazy. Okay, so if we're going to need 32 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just call it 33 33 is where I'm going to draw this at. When you're drawing these drawings, you do want to be close, but this does not have to be perfection, because you're going to either be ordering this, or there's another step to actually, order and figure it out. Construction is not perfect. Okay. So when we're drawing this out, we want to get very close. The numbers we do want to get close on if you were actually going to build this. But I'm trying to stay away from fractions too much, even though there would be some fractions, just because it makes it more difficult I think it makes it more confusing. So, all right. So we need 54 inches, but we're going to have, a divider here. And then we're going to have a panel that's going to, whoops. Yeah, we're going to do it this way. We're going to have a panel that comes down here. Now, if you were doing this again from a box store, you may not be able to do this unless you're, really good with construction and you can cut the panels. But this is where we're going to put those little belt and tie racks. Okay, so the ties are going to hang in here and the belts are going to hang here. And they actually pull out from the system. So they'll be all tucked in nice and clean in those sections there. And then this is going to be our section for shoes. Okay, so in that section, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 pair of shoes. So we actually gave him 20 spaces for shoes, and he needed 17. So now we've got the shoes taken care of. We've got this taken care of. We've got the belts. We've got the ties. By the way, those undermount belt and tie racks, the undermount tie racks hold 42 ties. So if you have a lot of ties, that's the way to go, because a typical pullout only holds like 18. The undermount belt racks hold about 30 belts. Not many guys have that many belts, but I've done them a few times. So you can also do the pullout ones. Those hold about 18 belts as well. Then we've got the shoes taken care of. We've got the drawers. We've got the dry cleaning. So we just need to get some more hanging in here. So if this space is actually 32 3/4, so that we could get 20 inches there and 12 inches there. This is our top piece. Let's put those in there. So we already know this end section here is definitely going to be double hanging. So we've got that. hanging there, hanging there. So the real math on this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, and that's 3 3/4 inches. We had 96 1/4. We're taking 30 inches away. We're taking 32 3/4 inches. We have 33 1/2 inches here. Okay, so times 2 is another 67 inches on our math. So we've got 13, we've got 143 inches, and we need 165. So here's what I did in this case. Pants hanging over a hanger. That's why I mentioned this before. Pants hanging over a hanger oftentimes only take about 32 inches of space if they're hung, evenly. So what we did in this case is we put another rod up here. And so we gained, I'm just going to get rid of this, 76, 67, and we gained another almost 33 inches here. So we've got 76 and 67 and 33. So we've got 176 inches of hanging. Okay, so we just took care of that. This is, really why you need to think this through, because it's really easy to say, oh, I can't fit that, or oh, I can't get my shoes in, because, thinking that this would have to be another double hang section, when if you, definitely if you're using a custom closet company, but if you are creative enough to think about different ways and the way things are actually measured, the way pants actually hang over a hanger, that you don't need to use the full 39 1/2 or 40 inches to take care of those, then you can do things like get your ties and your shoes taken care of in the design. All right, so I hope this made sense. Oh, one other thing. We are still missing his robes. All right, and this kind of let's take a look at this as well here. So we've got we've got our other pieces coming in here. Those are just 14 inches deep. They don't need to be 16, but the drawers are 16. So we've got 14 here, 16-inch deep here, 14 here and here. All right, so those are our sections. These were a little bit off there, so we got like that. And then here is where the clothes are actually hanging out to. Remember, the clothes that hang out 22 inches. So if we come out 22 inches here, we've got 19, 20 inches. We've got these clothes hanging out here. Okay. So this is what I was saying, that we don't want this corner having clothes hanging into clothes. Again, this space here will be used. I guarantee it will be used for either an ironing board or many other things. A step stool so that you can get up on these top shelves here, because that is usable space as well. But this is much better to leave that space rather than having these clothes all hitting each other in that corner. All right, so there we go on that. So this is pretty much the design, and I actually do have pictures of this. So let me see if I can find those. Let's go to some pictures. Long time ago when I did that closet. So here it is. So here is that closet. You can see right there, oops, it won't let me. You can see the tie rack. I think we were waiting for the belt rack to come in, so it's not in there. This person did this closet in Fusion Maple. We also did a added top. Oops, that's what that's what this is at the top. That's an added top. But you can see the shoe shelves there, the basket, the 2 drawers. And then let me see if I can show you that. Oh, I guess I didn't take a picture of the back wall. Nope. So yeah, so that is what that closet ended up looking like, and it worked out really well for him. He moved into another home and called me, and I did the closet for him and his new wife in the new home. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know what your questions are, what you are struggling with your closet designs. I would love to help. Remember, professional organizers and designers, I am putting out a closet design course starting in January. I believe the start date is going to be January 19th. Hopefully I can get everything together. I'm taking 10 people only for the first course. So if you'd like to learn more about that, please go to my website. There's links below, and I would love to see you there so that you can really help your clients at the highest level. And homeowners, if you need a design done or have additional questions, let me know. And I will look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Thanks so much for being here. Take care.